What's up, y'all? And welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to be talking all about that Kaiju number 8, Volume 1. Now, this was very exciting to dive into. So, just for a little bit of context as far as my history with the series. So, Kaiju number 8, this is a series I've pretty much been reading. I guess you can say weekly, even though it has a weird schedule, but let's just say weekly for simplicity's sake. I've been reading weekly since it first came out. So this one first started running, so it's in Shonen Jump Plus, but a lot of those titles also show up on the Shonen Jump app. So I've been reading it on the Shonen Jump app pretty much since it launched. And it's launched July of 2020, and we currently have, I believe, 54 chapters. Yeah, 54 chapters. Now, the manga took it just finished a big arc, and the author took a 1 month hiatus break. But he is returning. By the time y'all see this review, it'll be back. So I figured I was like, you know what, it'd be a good time to, while I haven't had it to read for like a month or whatever, figure this would be a perfect time to kind of go back and revisit this series from the beginning, because going back and reading series, that is a very rare thing for me to do. And granted, I haven't been doing reviews that long on this channel, but so far I haven't done this to where a series that I'm current up with, I've gone back and like given thoughts on the beginning. So enough about that. Let me just get into the meat and potatoes of it. So the series is done by Naoya Matsumoto, or not Naoya Matsumoto. Forgive me for butchering your name. And yeah, this is the first volume that's out in English. This came out, I think, around Christmas time, around the holidays of 2021. And volume 2 is going to be dropping sometime in April, I believe. But yeah, so for a little bit of background, for anybody that might not know, so the series follows main character Kafka Hibono, who he is. He is a 32-year-old guy who basically works on a kaiju cleanup crew. Now, it's funny, especially because my birthday was the day of the last chapter that came out before it went on break. And I'm now 32 as well, so I already enjoyed Kafka because of the fact that, hey, we have a main character who isn't a teen, who's not a kid, who is an adult in his 30s, but now I am literally the same age as Kafka. But yeah, Kafka, he's part of basically the cleanup crew, because in this world of Kaiju number 8, giant kaiju appear all the time, and Japan has the highest rate of kaiju appearances. And so there is a group called the Defense Force who come in. They're the ones that actually fight and battle the kaiju and take them down. But Kafka is part of a company that comes in the aftermath and does the cleanup. Everything from dismantling the kaiju to cleaning up the buildings, just locations, all that jazz, whatever. And so yeah, and then certain things happen, and he ends up. I hesitate to even say this because it is a slight spoiler, but at the same time, it's like if you look at the cover and if you read the synopsis on the back, it gives it away. But basically, through certain circumstances that happen, he ends up gaining the ability to become a kaiju, but not just any kaiju. When kaiju appear that have a certain basically a certain fortitude slash power level slash threat level, then they were given a classified title, which is the numbering system. So he is the eighth, basically like highly dangerous or big threat kaiju that's appeared. And so yeah, so going back, there is a lot in this volume. So first of all, this volume covers the first 7 chapters of the series, and it's like, how many pages is this? It's basically over 200 pages, because chapter 7 starts on page 183. So yeah, it's basically about 200 pages, and for only $10, you get a lot in here, because it was so interesting. And of course, I'm not going to spoil anything beyond this volume, so bear that in mind. But just for context sake, going back and reading this volume, I don't know if is it just because I'm getting a chance to kind of read several chapters all together, plus having been following the series weekly for 2 years now, plus just me kind of just being a little bit more patient and paying attention to the finer details. There are so many things that is included in this one volume, because you get the initial setup, you get the transformation, then you get big confrontations and foreshadowing and enemy threats and different characters or whatever, all set up in this one volume. And a lot of this stuff is stuff that was like, a lot of these events and some characters were very important to the plot, even up to what just wrapped up in the most current arc in the manga currently. So that's definitely something that I like truly appreciated going back and rereading this, is they do a really good job of really putting you in Kafka's shoes. And like I said, just the fact that he is a older character who had dreams and aspirations of joining the Defense Force with his childhood friend, who is a division captain. She is what's her name? Whoops. Mina Ashiro. She is the division captain for, I believe, Division 3, if I am remembering my stuff correctly. But anywho, he's tried taking the test multiple times over the years, and eventually Kafka just gives up on his dream of joining the Defense Force, and that's how he ends up on this cleanup crew. Well, a young guy named Ichikawa joins the cleanup crew or whatever, but he joins it basically as a way to prepare himself and to get knowledge on kaiju so that he can apply to join the Defense Force. And so through certain events that happen, they end up having to deal with a kaiju while they're out on a cleanup project. And basically Kafka ends up helping out Ichikawa during a event, and Ichikawa informs him that, like, hey, they recently, they're starting to recruit people again, and they recently raised the age limit of recruits to 30. They accept people up to age 33. So with him being 32 currently, not sure when his birthday's coming up or whatever, but it basically means that, like, hey, he now gets another opportunity to go and try to chase after his dreams again. But when he ends up in this situation where he ends up getting the ability to turn into a kaiju, it basically adds this extra layer of, now he is the thing that he has kind of sworn to take down and to get rid of. And I guess I don't want to put too much pressure on the series or kind of give people too much of a preconception by using this comparison, but just for example's sake or whatever, it kind of, on a basic level, reminds me a little bit of how Aaron is in Attack on Titan, to where he has sworn to, take out the Titans or whatever for vengeance on his family and stuff, whatever, but he ends up being able to turn into a Titan himself or whatever. And so, kind of a similar situation, to where, Kafka ends up in this case or whatever. But yeah, this volume, this series in general, is truly something that y'all need to keep your eyes on. I don't want to dive too much more into any other details and stuff, whatever, just because, like I said, I feel like this is truly a series that at least get the first volume, check it out, or heck, if you have the Shonen Jump app, you can read at least like the first few chapters for free. But it is definitely one that I would definitely recommend. Just dive in, give it a shot. Because after a few chapters, and especially after this first volume, I think you will have a pretty good idea of whether or not you will enjoy this series. And my recommendation, I highly feel like if you like a good action series with solid characters, with a older main character, like I said, especially if you're like me, I'm in my 30s, so I can definitely appreciate and enjoy seeing characters of older ages and, in their 20s and 30s and older and stuff, whatever. But this volume is definitely one that really sets the stage of what is to come for this series. So yeah, and I would just say, if you end up checking out this volume, or if you are reading the series or whatever, hey, let me know, comment down below, or tweet at me, DM me on Instagram, whatever the case is, whatever. Hit me up and let me know. And of course, on my podcast, Danny's Talk Podcast, I pretty much talk about, for the most part, I keep it, like I said, I keep up to date with the chapters as they come out weekly. So if y'all want to hear more thoughts of mine on the series beyond volume 1, then go find, check out my podcast. I have timestamps to all the times I talk about the series and stuff, whatever. So, but yeah, like I said, this is a big high recommendation from me, and I am just very excited for the series to come back, just because of the way things was foreshadowed when it went on its hiatus. And like I said, just the things that were shown in this first volume, I am just excited to see where things go from here, because Kaiju number 8 is definitely the part of the next wave of manga series. And I definitely look forward to the day where this might potentially get an anime, because I feel like the manga is really dope, and I would love to see all this stuff animated and in motion. But enough of that. I'm going to stop rambling. But I hope that I gave you a good idea and good context behind this series, because like I said, it's only a couple years old, but it is blowing up pretty quick. So get on it. Go pick up your copy of Kaiju number 8, volume 1, and let's conversate. Let me know what you think. But that'll do it for me. As always, you can find me everywhere at Dan Needs to Talk. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel or to the podcast feed or all of it. And support your boy. And be on the lookout for more Kaiju number 8 and more manga, anime, game news, and all things that life brings us. And with that, me and Kaiju number 8 Kafka are out. Y'all be easy. Peace.